Okay, so ADC tier list for the recent patch. They reset the solo queue ladder in Master Plus. They added Doran's bow, they added Doran's helm, and did a lot of changes, added new runes, Deathfire Touch, and also did some changes here and there. So I wanted to break down what ADCs I think are the best for this patch, and kind of going over the reason for why. Okay, so we'll just go in the order that I put the champions here, and we'll kind of go through. Starting off with Aphelios, I'm going to put Aphelios into B tier. And this tier list in general is kind of like more geared towards higher elo, but I'll every time I rank a champion, I'll tell you if it's like a little bit different for if you're low elo. I think Aphelios for lower elos is more like a C tier, just not a great champion to play for lower elos. If you always look at win rates, you're gonna see that Aphelios will always be on the lower end of the spectrum. And for lower elo players, he's hard to play, takes a lot of hours, while also typically being weak in the meta. So he's not a champion that I typically recommend you pick up unless you just really like Aphelios already, in which case I love him. He's one of my favorite champions. And I do think, like, if you are to play Aphelios, you should try to go Stormracer every single game that you can. Stormracer is really, really good. If you don't get BF Sword, go Hex Optics. If you do get BF Sword, go Stormracer. And this is going to be a common trend throughout this whole video. Go Gluttonous Greaves. Gluttonous Greaves are the most OP item on this new patch. On every single ADC, apart from probably Jhin, you should go Gluttonous Greaves. The only reason I say not Jhin is because Jhin doesn't really care that much about lifesteal. He doesn't benefit that much of it. Maybe even on Jhin it's worth it, but that's the only champion that I'm like not fully sure about. But every other single champion on this list, I think you should go Gluttonous Greaves. Get it kind of early, either after your first item or right before your first item, so you can start stacking it up. Especially good if you're like snowballing. Even on Ashe, even on Yunara, yes, this item is overpowered. If you look at any champion, like if we look at, for example, Caitlyn, we'll see that these boots will have way better win rate than any of the other options. These boots are really, really OP and they will get nerfed, so abuse them while you can. I'm just gonna leave that out in here now because it'll be a common trend throughout this video that I will recommend you to buy Gluttonous Greaves on every single champ. And they're really cheap, really good. You just need to get kills or takedowns. Well, you got to do that. If you're really far behind, you could be like, oh, it's not worth it because I'm not going to get takedowns. But at that point, you're probably just losing the game anyways, right? We can also talk a little bit about Doran's bow. I think Doran's bow is just bad. Like if you look at every single champion, their win rate is worse with Doran's bow by around 1% than Doran's blade. Which just leads me to believe that the item is just weak. I think Doran's bow will probably get a buff. I think they'll buff the Omnivamp, if I were to guess, because it just isn't offering a good enough a stat profile to compete with D-Blade. D-Blade 80 HP and 4 more AD is a lot more valuable than the 10-15% attack speed. And then also the fact that D-Blade also gives more Omnivamp makes up for the fact that it's 50 gold less. So I think Doran's bow currently is just weak. I wouldn't recommend buying it. I haven't seen a single champion that has better win rate. Like even high auto-attacking champions like Jinx, it's still nearly 1% less win rate. So just don't buy Doran's bow. Just keep buying D-Blade and you have a higher chance of winning the game. Seri is actually really close. So I do think after if I were to do a guess, I think Doran's bow will get a slight buff. And then I think on champions that really care about attack speed, like Yunara, like Ashe, like Jinx, like Vayne, like Varus, like Seri, then I think it'll be the best starter item. But I do think it'll get buffed, so I wouldn't buy it right now. Well, those are like the two things about the really new items, and then we'll continue getting into the other champions. I think Samira, another B tier. Both of these champions are really situational, in that like Samira really wants to play into low CC comps with something like an engage support or Renata, while Aphelios really doesn't want to play into poke and he wants an enchanter or an engage support to really set him up for success. So you kind of want like to be able to see more champions, which you usually won't get in solo queue, which is what makes both these champions a little bit more situational than the normal champ. I just think Samira in general is a very one-dimensional playstyle. She just needs to go in, get fed, and if she doesn't, she can't ever leave a fight because she can't eat the allies like someone like a Katarina can. So she just needs to continue fighting to the death. So yeah, I'd put Samira in B tier. She's a good, decent like smurfing option and a decent low elo pick, but definitely better picks out there. Then we have Senna. I actually think Senna is maybe not so bad, honestly, but probably B tier. I think also like Deathfire Touch on Senna I've been having a lot of Senna supports playing Deathfire Touch, and I do think Deathfire Touch on ADC Senna would make sense as well. There's an interaction with Deathfire Touch and Black Cleaver that you instantly proc Black Cleaver when you have Deathfire Touch. So I'm going to put Senna in B tier as well. Maybe even A tier, to be honest. I think top of B tier for now. I'll put her, but I do think she has the potential to climb up to A tier and be stronger. But I just haven't played against it, and I haven't played as it. But just on paper, I think she should be pretty good, and I would recommend trying out Deathfire Touch on her. I think that would be good. And next up we have Ashe. Ashe is just like, I mean, she's really, really good win rate actually. Do I want to put her S tier? Maybe I should put her S tier. Yeah, I mean, I think her stats kind of speak for themselves, I guess. 53% win rate at 15% peak rate. I'm gonna put her S tier. I'm not a big Ashe lover. I don't like Ashe. I think she's very boring. So I always have kind of like a negative view of Ashe. But she's just really good with most supports, especially good with like Lulu and Seraphine. But you can play her with every sort of engaged champion, every sort of enchanter. Not the best with mages, but pretty much good with like every single support that you can think of. Super versatile, super strong. Yeah, doesn't really have any glaring weaknesses. The only thing is, like, I think she can be sometimes a bit deceptively hard in that you really want to win lane on her and run people down. So if you have bad spacing and you're not doing that well, then you will not find success. But I think she's kind of like a good benchmark champ for getting good at ADC. So if you're new to the role, I think trying Ashe out and kind of getting familiar with the mechanics of ADC is really, really good. Draven. Draven I think is A tier for me. I think he's like decent. Maybe B tier actually. I'm not sure. The only thing is Draven build-wise right now, I think when I played him at least, nothing felt spectacularly good. Actually, I think I think A tier. I think A tier. I think low A tier for me is how Draven feels right now. I think Gluttonous Greaves, really good on him. Obviously, you should go that, as you should on every ADC, but he likes those a lot. As you can see, pretty good win rate on it. And I do think when you go Gluttonous Greaves, that opens you up for either going Hexoptics or Hubris first, if you don't want to go, because then you get the lifesteal from this, so you don't need to go BT. We can also still go BT and just mega stack lifesteal. And then second item, going Hexoptics if you went for something that didn't give you crit, so then you can go IE third. Makes a lot of sense. So yeah, top of A tier for me. I think pretty good. Caitlyn as well. I think pretty strong, pretty solid. A lot of range supports in the meta, which she feels really nice paired up with. Things like Karma. If you get a Lux, it's really nice. With a lot of enchanters, she works well, but especially mage supports. So I think just having Caitlyn in your pool is really good, so that if you have a support that locks in something like a mage support, you just have the Caitlyn, pull that out, and you're gonna be golden. I think really nice. Putting Caitlyn in A tier as well. And on Caitlyn, you're gonna do kind of the same thing as Aphelios. That if you're getting BF Sword, you should go Stormracer. If you don't get BF Sword, just go Hex Optics. Pretty much the same thing. And it's gonna be the same on Jhin, and the same on... I guess it's just mostly those three that really have kind of the same build. And then next up is Lucian. So Lucian, I think after the buff he got, it's pretty good. I'm gonna put him in A tier. Below Caitlyn, but above Draven. I think the buff he got, it was 2 seconds cooldown on his E, but if you remember last year, he got the same buff last year, and that made him really OP. And the reason why is because on Lucian, when your E is 16 seconds cooldown, what you can do is you can E forward, and then auto, and then W, or Q, it doesn't really matter, and then auto, and then you can do either your Q or W, whichever you didn't do, right? And then auto, kind of running out of space here. And then because your E is 16 seconds cooldown, you're now gonna have your E back up. While when the E was 18 seconds cooldown, you don't have this extra E to use. And that's what makes this buff on Lucian actually really meaningful, because you get this second E that you get to use at the end of the combo that you would not normally get. Normally this would be the full combo, but when your dash is only 16 seconds cooldown, you get to finish this combo with another E at the end. So actually a meaningful buff, which makes me want to put him into the A tier. On Lucian as well, you're going to be going Gluttonous Greaves, you're going to be going Essence River, you're going to be going IE or Nabori, and then whichever you didn't buy third, and then LDR, and you're golden. And then Misfortune, I don't know where I want to rate Misfortune, honestly. I think she's alright. I think like either top of B tier or bottom of A tier kind of feels right to me. Maybe I think top of B tier, to be honest. I think top of B tier. The only thing is like I feel like neither her lethality build nor her normal build feel extremely good. Like I think both of them are like fine, but she doesn't feel that OP as she did before. She doesn't like kind of have match the same pacing as the other ADCs, how I kind of put it. And you're a little bit ultra-aligned. I do think if you have something like a Lilia, MF is going to be really good. If you have something like a Maokai, something like a Rel, champs that just clump up enemies for you, Jarvan, you know, like that lets you get a really good ultimate, then you're going to be really, really golden in the later stages of the game. Smoldinho. I think Smolder, yeah, maybe even S tier. It's either top of S tier, or it's either S tier or top of A tier. 53% win rate with 12% pick rate. I'm going to go S tier, bro. I'm going to go S tier. I think Smolder is really good. He has the same thing that we talked about with Senna. Deathfire Touch is insane on him. I think Smolder is S tier. Maybe it's C tier, honestly. I mean, 55% win rate with this rune is crazy. This rune is just made for Smolder. It's just made for Smolder. You proc it so easily all the time. It's also the Black Cleaver interaction that we talked about. If you have Deathfire Touch and you have Black Cleaver, you instantly stack Black Cleaver. Gluttonous Greaves are insane on him. So you should just go Essence River into Black Cleaver with Gluttonous Greaves, or into the Shojin and then into Black Cleaver. And then 4th item, you can go any situational item. I'd say something like Rapid Fire, GA can be fine. Overlord's Bloodmail I think is a bit of an overcook. Endless Hunger can be fine, that's a lot of ability haste. Maw if you need a Mar, BT if you need more healing. You have a lot of options essentially. Anything defensive is fine. I think overall Smolder is just really, really good this patch, really easy to play. A lot of damage, a lot of scaling, really, really good. And then we have another champion I'm absolutely loving on this patch, Ezreal. Ezreal now got a lot of AP ratios, and he's viable with Deathfire Touch, but I don't think it's good. His win rate is really bad on it, but Dragdar has been talking about it a lit, and I tried it out a few games. I think he's just better with PTA or Lethal Tempo, but even though his win rate is bad, I think this champion is really, really OP. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know. I think a lot of people are just bad at Ezreal. I think especially in high reloads, this champion is just so fucking good. With Gluttonous Greaves, feels really, really good. And you're just doing so much damage. You rush the Trinity Force. And then the question is if you go like either the hybrid build or you go full 80 build. If you're going 80 build, you go Endless Hunger into Cyrilda's. And then if you're going to go the AP build, you can go here after you've stacked up the Muramana and then Horizon Focus into Archangels. Both are fine. I think just the 80 build is better in most cases, and you just go Endless Hunger. But I have had games where we were like nearly full AD, in which case going APS roll makes a lot of sense. And also with the APS roll, the playstyle is a little bit different because your W and E is doing a lot of damage and your ulti will do a lot of damage. So you kind of need to change a bit how you're thinking about Ezreal's kit if you decide to go that AP playstyle, because well, in the AD build, Q is like everything, right? But when you transition into the Horizon Focus and the Archangels, you need to be really good at hitting those Ws, using the E aggressively, hitting the ultimate, rather than just focusing on Q to having the highest DPS. And then we got Jhin. Jhin for me, I think he falls into B tier alongside MF here. We would put Senna top of B tier. Maybe we move Senna up to A actually. I think Senna's like hidden OP, so I'm gonna move Senna up to A. I think she's probably like hidden strong. I can just like smell it, I feel it. We'll put Jhin in B tier. I think Jhin is just alright. I think Jhin with Deathfire Touch should be pretty decent. Just in theory, the rune makes a lot of sense on him. It's not as good on him as something like Smolder, but it's pretty decent. You can also go Dark Harvest, obviously, but he always had a little bit of a hard time like stacking it, and Dark Harvest was always a little bit cheesy, I would say. So Deathfire Touch, just a really solid option. And then for builds, you can go like either just Hubris or Hex Optics, both are fine. Stormracer as well. If you get the BF Sword, as we talked about, Stormracer is by far his best option. Stormracer on champions that want to do one auto and then run away is overpowered. It's so OP. So if you get 1,300 gold base on Jhin, buy BF Sword. Buy BF Sword, go Stormracer, enjoy Elo. Enjoy Elo. Super, super good. Super good. Okay, so Jhin, top of B tier, we're happy about that. Jinx. For me, Jinx is weird because In high elo, nobody plays Jinx. In my last, I've played now like 20 games maybe on the new patch, something like that. I have not played against or with a Jinx a singular time. But her stats are insane in lower elos. She has crazy good win rate, very high pick rate, and she's always rated as like one of the best ADCs on the patch on these like stat sites. So I think if you are a lower elo ADC, if you are below diamond, and you are thinking about, oh, what is a good ADC to pick up, and you just kind of want to farm and then carry, I think Jinx is S tier for you. For higher elos though, I think Jinx is like here. I think she's just alright, like she's definitely on the better end of the scale, but she's not insane. I don't think she's insane. I do think though, if you are lower elo and you're looking for something that has a hyper carry playstyle to farm up and then scale, Jinx is your best option, bar none, for sure. But it's also like right now, if you just want to scale and you don't really care about being a hyper carry, then Smolder is probably just going to do you better than Jinx. So keep that in mind. Then we got Kai'Sa. I think Kai'Sa's better this patch, but still not insane. Maybe she was like C tier last patch, and now she's like top of B tier. I have tried the static Rageblade Dusk and Dawn build, and it's pretty good. The only thing is you really need to buy Cull, and you don't get Q evolve until level 10, which feels a bit awkward. And some people have been telling me about Voltaic plus static. I haven't tried that out, but I think the win rate on it was really bad last time I looked. But the static Rageblade for me felt pretty good. I enjoyed it. The win rate actually isn't better than Kraken, but I do think there is some real potential to it. And Dusk and Dawn still has better win rate than Nashor's after the change. I think Dusk and Dawn is still good. The only thing is you can't buy Gluttonous Greaves on Kai'Sa. I mean, you can, but then it's really hard to get your E-Evolve. So that feels kind of bad on Kai'Sa. So it's really Jhin and Kai'Sa that are not benefiting much off of Gluttonous Greaves being OP. So yeah, Kai'Sa B tier, you're gonna be... I haven't tried Halo Blades. That's another thing to consider. Win rate is really bad though. But it is something in theory that could work with the Halo Blades changes. But when I tried Halo Blades on Draven, the changes felt very underwhelming. I'm not gonna lie. Halo Blades did not feel particularly OP. So you're just gonna go on Lethal Tempo, Static Shiv, get the Cull, get Rageblade, and then you get the Q Evolve, then you go Dusk and Dawn, and then just situational AP items, Rabadon, Sonia's, Void Staff, all that good stuff. Banshees if you need MR. Kalista. I think C tier? I think Kalista's just not good. There's been some brewing of Kalista with Static Ship. That's been interesting. But, I mean, the winner is pretty good, actually. The winner is pretty good. I haven't tried it out. It sounds really troll to me. But I'll need to try it out properly and see how it is. I gotta give it a shot, I guess. Gotta give it a shot. But yeah, I don't think Kalista's particularly good in solo queue. I think she's really hard to play while just being balanced around competitive. So they always just keep her kind of weak. So it's just hard to pull off in general. But I'll see if I can maybe test out a static Kalista and then get back to you and see if it's good. Okay, Vayne, moving on. Vayne, I think Vayne for me is... Vayne is C tier as well. I think Vayne is pretty bad. I mean, in lower elos, I'd say Vayne is kind of like here. And then in higher elos, I'd say Vayne is kind of like here. Let's put her here, kind of in the middle. I just think her wave clear really sucks. And her early game, weak, right? She doesn't really benefit much off of the new changes whatsoever. Gluttonous Greaves on her felt decent when I played it, but she's kind of just buying the same items. Like Static Shiv doesn't really make sense on her. You can go S River, I guess, but I don't think that's good. So you're going either Kraken or Blade of the Ruined King, and then Gluttonous Greaves, and then Rage Blade, like standard on hits, right? And you're gonna be scaling really well if you can get 4 or 5 items, but really weak in the early game. So yeah, Varus. Varus is a very similar case for me as Vayne, or not as Vayne, as Kalista. Super hard to win on in solo queue, balanced around competitive. I wouldn't recommend you play him. He's better in higher elo than in lower elos, but I think we'll just put him here for now because I fucking hate him. Kennen ADC. This shit is dog shit. I tried Kennen AD top. It's really bad. Don't play this. Don't play this. Don't play this. Really bad. Really bad. I tried it out and just the AP Kennen is better. Even though it's like fun, they added some builds and stuff. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend. I wouldn't recommend. Just remove from the list? No! We're keeping Cannon. Some people are hyped about AD Cannon, bro. A lot of people want me to play AD Cannon. So now I can tell them this. I can tell them this. Cannon sucks. Static Varus Fox. Static Varus win rate. It's 50%. I mean, yeah, for sure. Like AP Varus, I think is better than Lethality Varus and on-hit Varus. But I still wouldn't say it's like it's better. It's just better in top lane. It's the same thing as Bane. It's just like Varus is just better top lane. Your matchups are better. You can win lane much harder. You can be more tanky. I think I'm gonna keep him in C tier. I'm gonna keep him in C tier. Sivir. Yeah, something like this. Very similar to Jinx, honestly. Just has lower range, but a little bit more fighting power. Yeah. And I can move Varus up to B tier. I like that. I like him next to Vayne. They're similar champs anyway. They're both better than top lane. Okay, Sivir, low A tier for me. Just has good wave clear, has good scaling. Very similar to Jinx, honestly. Very easy to play, easy to execute, but nothing special. Build didn't really change at all. You're just gonna go lethal tempo and like crit and chill. Saya. Would I want to put you low B tier maybe? I think you're going low B tier as well. I think Saya is just like, I don't know when I would personally want to pick Saya, you know? Because Saya is very similar to Ophelia Samira in that she's very situational, but you just don't get to see those situations where you'd want to pick her. And then it's like, I'd much rather just pick Smolder or Ezreal if I want to have some like safety in my ADC. So I just don't have much of a reason to really ever pick Saya right now. And then we have Zeri. Tom and Jerry. Zeri. Well, the thing is they made some changes to Zeri this patch, and her win rate is absolutely horrendous. I think I played her only one game, but I played her one game and I said, I'm not gonna play any more Zeri because I think she fucking sucks. So I'm gonna put her next to Ken. Is this a cry for help? Is this me asking Riot Games to please buff Zeri? Yes. Yes it is. Yes it is. I think Zeri, I think they just went too far. Like they nerfed her damage. A lot. And I think especially with her ulti now has like 40% less scaling, which is just too much. It's too much. Her win rate is deflated by so many people going Static Shiv first. Don't buy Static Shiv on Zeri. It's not a good item on Zeri. Don't buy Static Shiv first on Zeri. So, okay. Actually, maybe she's not that bad. Like, her win rate is deflated a lot by the fact that Static Shiv is her most bought item. Yeah, okay. But no, I'm gonna put her in D tier. This is a cry for help. This is a protest. But she should actually have more like 49% win rate. She shouldn't have 47. It's just a lot of people trolling. Static Shiv is not good on her. She really wants crit. She doesn't really care that much about AP. She has decent scalings, but it's not good enough. So you're just gonna want to buy Storm Racer if you can get the BF sword. And then otherwise, yeah, I think just you want to buy Storm Racer over Unital. Storm Racer is just better than Unital, honestly. And the second item, if they have a lot of melee champions, you want Hurricane. If they don't, you want PD or King Hunter Bolts. And then Nila. Nila, what a weird champ you are. I lost to Nila yesterday and I was so mad. I think this champion is OP. I'm gonna put it in A tier. Champion is OP, but I do not understand this champion, and I don't even know if you can call it an ADC. This champion is like a Jax. This champion is a Jax masquerading as a marksman. It's not a real ADC. If you play Nyla, you're not an ADC man. You're a weirdo, okay? So I don't like Nyla. I think she doesn't feel like an ADC. Yeah, not a big fan. Hello Mirwin, why is Seri D tier? Because we need Seri to get buffed. She's fucking 47% win rate. She's nearly the worst ADC win rate in the game. Did I just 65% win rate on IE? I mean, that's if you go your boots third item, which just means like people are really fed. But yeah, I mean, Nyla win rate's fucking crazy. I think Nyla's just like hidden OP, but nobody wants to play Nyla. So yeah, we put Nyla there. I don't want to play Nyla anyways, even if I think she's OP. Tristana, my favorite Yumper. She's kind of mid. Ever since they made the changes to... She's better than this though. She's like here, I'd say. Maybe here. Maybe better than Aphelios. Yeah, I'd say she's here. Ever since they made the changes to her bomb after they buffed IE, she hasn't really had that one-shot potential that she used to have. So she's been kind of middling. So yeah, we put her into B tier. Not too strong. Doesn't really have that much damage. She's decently versatile. can always play with like most support and be kind of chilling, but not that good. And then we got a little Corki. I've always been a Corki hater, but I do gotta admit that he's I mean, he's not too bad. His win rate is kind of bad though, but I do think with Gluttonous Greaves, he should be kind of chilling. Yeah, pretty good win rate with Gluttonous Greaves. I'm gonna put him right next to Tristana. I think he should be right next to Tristana here. Right next to Tristana. Yes. And if this was like a competitive tier list, he would be like up here, I'd say, and then like Smolder would not be there. But I think for general population solo queue, Corki's pretty mid. He's a good lane bully. I think for higher lows he would be like here, but for general population, I think around here would be more fair. I think if you're really loyal, like if you're playing in silver, you can put him from here. Like you shouldn't be playing Corki. I think you should start considering playing Corki once you're like platinum above, maybe emerald and above, because that's when you can start to actually use the lane power of the champion and get some leads going to actually win the game. Otherwise, you're just going to be doing nothing. And I think especially Master Plus is when I actually start to face Corkis and get a little bit annoyed playing against him. But even then, usually it's like you can outscale him and the game goes fine. But he definitely is really strong in lane. It can be really annoying. And he does have certain like matchups where, like for example, when I'm playing Tristana into Corki, the Corki kind of goes like a Bruiser build and I can never one-shot him and it's so fucking annoying. So I think he can be pretty good. And then Kog'Maw. Kog'Maw, I think it's just not good. I don't know, I just never see Kog'Maw anymore. His winner isn't bad, but I don't think he's particularly good. I do say that though, but I don't think he's like bad. I think he's like... yeah, I think worse than Varus, better than Bane, I would say. Yes. Worse than Varus, better than Bane. I think if you have a Lulu, if you have a Milio, if you have a Braum, pretty decent. You don't have those things, probably would not pick Kog'Maw. Probably would pick something else. And if they have a lot of tanks, then Kog'Maw's gonna do well. There's also the more hypey, like Dusk and Dawn Kog'Maw build, which I remember Crowny was hyped about, but doesn't really look like many people are doing that. So yeah, he's just alright. Wouldn't surprise me if he gets the buff eventually. Okay, Yunara. Yunara. I think Yunara is really solid, honestly. For me, Yunara is really weird in that I think she should be like the perfect solo queue champ, very similar to Jinx, in that she's really easy to win on and really strong, but people just don't win on Yunara. So for the average player, like people just don't have success on Yunara, but I do think Yunara is good. I just think she's kind of deceptively hard. That's the conclusion I've come to with the fact that most people don't win on Yunara, is that she's harder than she looks. So what I would say is I think Yunara is worth picking up if you like her aesthetic or playstyle. But be prepared that she's going to have a little bit of a higher skill floor than maybe what it initially feels like. I think you really need to get used to using your ult as like a spell reset and finding exactly how much damage you're dealing with the ult. She's very similar to Zeri. I think Zeri and Yunara are very similar. So if you enjoy Zeri, probably you're going to enjoy Yunara and vice versa. But she does certainly have like a bit of a higher... she's not too hard, she's not crazy hard, but she's higher than she looks, because she looks really, really simple. But she's like a little bit deceptively hard. That's it. Twitch. Finishing it off with Twitch, the little rat. Where do I want to put the little rat? I think the little rat is somewhere into B tier, I guess, maybe. The thing is, I think Twitch is not good. But every time I play against Twitch, I stomp him in lane, and he gets a few kills through his stealth, and then suddenly he's the strongest champion in the game, and then he one-shots me. And then I get tilted, and I don't want to play anymore. That's usually always my experience with Twitch, but I think that lands him squarely into middle of B tier, to be honest. I think he's just... it's Twitch, you know? We all know what Twitch does at this point. He rushes a little collector. I think Hexoptics should be pretty good on him as well. And then if he gets kills, he snowballs and takes over the game. You're just gonna go Infinity Edge, all that good stuff. And you can also go the AP build, but I think the AP build is a little bit harder to play, and you kind of need to be, I think, a bit more of a Twitch main to really pull off the AP build, because you get used to the damage thresholds and how to play that slower playstyle compared to just like a one-shot from stealth. I do think he's always a good like one-trick champ. Always a good one-trick champ because you can go AP and you can go AD, and you have that versatility. Pretty much Felix for 17 months. But yeah, that is my tier list for At 16.9. That is how I feel like every champion ranks up. I do think overall that the meta is quite versatile right now. And I wanted to touch a little bit on mages. I think mages in general in bot lane are all right. I don't think they're anything crazy. I think if you're crying about mages right now, then it's a skill issue, like it has been for a long time. I think most ADCs that cry about mages, I'm sorry, bro, you just need to get better at the game. Like, mages are not a problem. You just need to, if you want, like, first I rage bait you a little bit, and then I'll give you some actual advice on how to play mages. Like, playing as mages, what you want to do is, one, never stand in the wave, because what you want to avoid is minions are like here, right? And if you're standing in the wave, then the mage can just throw the spell on you and the wave, and they get 2 for 2, you know? You don't want to let them happen. So what you always want to do when you're playing with against the mage is your wave is right here, and you're playing outside of the wave, either on the bottom or the top. That way, the mage always has to choose between using spell on either you or the wave, and that way he can't get push, as easily at least. Because then as well, if he uses spell on the wave, then you click up and then you hit him, right? Another thing is level 1. You should always get push against mage. The only exception is Karthus and Mel, who are pretty strong level 1, who can actually get push against you. But every other mage that you play against, like if I see you losing push against the Ziggs level 1, then bro, like we gotta put you in the gulag, because that shouldn't be possible. Your auto attacks do double their damage level 1, you know? So just abuse the fact that you're stronger level 1, and then what should happen is that you're getting pushed on the first wave, right? And then you slow push the second and third wave. The first wave is push, second wave slow push, third wave slow push, and then from this, you're just constantly pushing them into tower, constantly being able to base first, and then you have control of the lane for the whole game. And then what should happen is that naturally, at the 10-minute mark, you have 20 to 30 CS lead. And if you've done that, then you're playing good against mage. Good job. And also another thing that's important to note is every crit ADC pretty much outscales mages. If you're playing something like Kalista, yeah, you probably won't outscale a mage. Your champion doesn't scale the best, right? But if you're playing a normal crit ADC, at later stages of the game, if you play teamfights well, you're going to be much, much more useful than a mage. So that's how I feel about mages. Whenever I see enemy lock in a mage, as long as I haven't locked in something like a Kalista, something like a Draven that really wants to snowball early, I feel completely fine playing as a mage. I feel completely comfortable. But it's really when I've locked myself into that type of playstyle and they lock in a mage, that's when I'm like, oh shit. But the biggest strength of a mage is that it's really, really hard to punish them and really hard to kill them. But it's really easy to just win lane and just push them in and just farm and get 10 CS per minute. So if you're playing something that outscales, then you're completely fine with that, you know? You're just chilling. You're just like, okay, I'm just gonna farm, you're gonna farm, but I'm gonna get higher farm than you because I'm pushing you in, so you're losing minions to tower, and I'm slow pushing, so you're losing minions naturally, and I also outscale you, so I'm chilling. I also think, in general right now, Smolder, abuse it, and Gluttonous Greaves, abuse it. Gluttonous Greaves, every single champ, enjoy, it's so OP. For sure, like the biggest thing that I'd say take away is just to buy Gluttonous Greaves. I think those boots are really, really OP, and they will for sure get nerfed. For sure will get nerfed. The boots are giga broken. I even have LEC champion Mirwin, who agrees with me. Wow. It's good on Jinx, for example. Even on Jinx. The only champs it's not good on is Jhin and Kai'Sa, because you need EOL on Kai'Sa. OP on Zeri. Okay, but Mirwin, Seri is not good. You don't seriously think Seri is good right now, do you? Bro, Seri for sure will get buffed. Don't you think Seri will get buffed today? Or not buffed today, but get buffed in general? In top she's better now? Really? Maybe she's better in competitive. I don't know, I just like, her damage is so low.